What's going on, y'all? Chuck Nunface here, and today on the table, I am very excited to do this review. This is the all-new Medford knife and tool DLT exclusive 187. I don't know if you watched my unboxing of this knife. It was a real quick video, but this is a little bit different from what we've seen from the 187 series in quite some time. So not only is it S90V, because it is a DLT exclusive, but it's not just a 187 DP, it's a 187 DPT, so drop point tanto. So they have not done these in several years. They had them initially with a G10 scale in the old pivot style, and they've just been sunsetted for quite some time. Really cool design, all TI this time around. And yeah, just very, very, very cool knives. Now the reason it's called the 187 is because the blade and both scales are all 0.187 inches thick. So it's all even dimensions all the way around. All right, so it is a 187 DPT. And I was really excited when I saw that DLT was gonna be carrying these in S90V with the Tanto. As you know, I've said several times on this channel, S90V is probably my favorite stainless steel. It does everything that you could possibly want a steel to do. Some people say it's not quite as tough, but I think it's got plenty of toughness for anything that you could do from an EDC sense. Yeah, it's not 3V tough, but it's definitely got enough, I think. It's not super hard to sharpen. The edge retention is fantastic for EDC. Blows the M390 away at any hardness, in my opinion, from what I've seen, and it just does anything that I would ask a stainless steel to do. So yeah, I'm always excited about S90V. I wish more knives were in it. I guess it's just never one of those that took off, probably because of the difficulty in sharpening. But if you've got stones, diamond stones, or anything like that, you're going to be fine doing S90V. Getting into some dimensions right now, it has a. If we go from the top of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, just over a 4-inch blade, a little bit more, with a 1, 2, 3, and a little over 3.5 inches of cutting edge. It's got it's going to be overall length of, let's see, let me line it up right there. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Wait, let me start over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 9.25 inches overall. I don't have the specs in front of me. I probably should have done a little bit of research ahead of time, but you know, it's a hefty boy. There's no internal milling or anything like that. This one right here is going to be number 110, 110-145, and you might maybe be able to see it on the inside if I can get the right angle. You can't really read it, but it's right in there inside the scale also, the matching numbers. So just a quick refresher if you're not sure on the Medford knife and tool numbering system. So the 1 is the year of production, the first number. So that was 2021. And then the next 2 numbers are the month. So that's October. So October of 2021, number 145 of the run. That's when this knife was produced. S90V steel, as you know, beautiful tie all the way around, pocket clip. This one is completely sterile. It's going to be considered, I believe this is going to be considered your Terminator design. All right, so that's going to be just basically all sterile TI all the way around. It is a bit of a fingerprint magnet. Let me see if I can get some of those off of there. It is going to be a bit of a fingerprint magnet. Kind of nothing I can do about that. But the finish on this is fantastic as well. I believe this is going to be their new river wash finish. So it's different from their typical dark stone wash. And it looks just fantastic. When I took this out of the box, I was like, dang, I was not expecting that. I was expecting more of a duller, flatter stone wash appearance to it. But this has almost got, like when they do the facing on it, it's got that nice sheen to it, but it still has some texture and some depth, you know, on the finishing of it and everything else. The grinds on this, they do grind so great over at Medford. I really think they do. I'm always happy with that belt grind that they do. I mean, it's been buffed out, so it's not like a rough finish, but you can feel the striations and everything else. And I just think you know, the way they do their hollow grinds, they make it nice and thin behind the edge still. And then real nice transition on this Tanto. Definitely see, I believe it's called the Kasaki if you were going to get technical with the Japanese terms. I mean, it's American Tanto, but that transition right there where you go from this hollow to this flat grind coming to the tip, it's just always looks so good. And so I jumped at the chance to go pick one of these up. The action on it is great. It's on washers. It does take some time to break in, but I mean, it flicks out no problem. It really does. You thumb flick it out, middle finger flick it out. I didn't quite get it that time. It's always harder on camera. You know, you're always under more pressure to get it on camera, but there you go. So the action, happy about that. It's just great. This is just one of those knives where I got it and I just put it in my pocket. It was so hard to put down and just do something else with it, or carry something else. I mean, it's chunky. You may not like this. I mean, if you don't like Medfords, I mean, this is definitely it's definitely 100% Medford, no doubt. It's got the external stop pins right there. Everything locks up right, tight, not going anywhere. There's no sort of play, even when you take the pressure off the lock bar. You know, could it use, they do have some models on the 187 series where they've done contouring, so it doesn't feel like the broomstick feel of it. I think somebody called these tactical broomsticks at some point. I forget who I heard that from, but you know, some of them, I think a little contouring on the scales instead of the slab sides might be nice. They do that on there's a limited release of those. They do them every once in a while. It might be something you can order from their custom shop. I'm not sure. It would be nice to see that standard on the 187, but there's just something about, for me, I just like it. There's something about this model of knife, the 187, that just kind of speaks to me. I've had 3. In fact, the first 187 I ever had was a Tanto. It was a DPT that had a G10, and it had a MP3 coated D2 blade, and it had the worst lock stick almost of any knife that I'd ever experienced, to the point where I was like, I don't know what's going on with this dang thing. I could have sent it into Medford. I don't know why I didn't. I probably should have. But I ended up fixing it myself over time. I kind of did some things that you weren't supposed to do with the lock face. But, you know, I digress. I ended up moving that one along to a buddy of mine in a full disclosure sale. He really liked it for a long time. I think he's since moved it on as well. But that was one of the Medfords that was one of the worst ones I've ever had. And then I got another DLT exclusive and a trade and everything else. That was his typical drop point, and that one was fantastic. But I ended up, as we do, we move things down the line. But I've always wanted another one. And so when the opportunity, you know, to pick up this one came around, I was like, I got to do it. Definitely got to do it. And yeah, no regrets whatsoever. Really nice. And I think some of these are still available through DLT. It is worth noting also that they do have the lock bar stabilizer now, which is a new feature that they haven't always done. And so I guess they're going to be doing that across the entire line. So I could gush and go on and on about this knife for a long time, but I think I'm going to wrap it up. I would definitely recommend picking up one of these. I mean, the action on it's great. Love the grinds. The Tanto looks great on this. It's absolutely worth picking up. DLT has some left. They don't have any of the Terminator finishes, but they've got some nice DLC blades. Or PVD coated blades, I should say. They don't use DLC, they use PVD. They've got some good patterns and some flaming, I think, on them. They got some anodized ones. Yeah, this is the exact one that I wanted. Totally sterile, devoid of any other sort of embellishments other than just the TI and the blade and everything else. So I was very happy to pick this one up. Well, that is going to do it. I'm going to wrap it up. I don't think I did any size comparisons. I'll do that real quick. There's a Spyderco Stretch 2, K390. Let's see. There's a Spenza 21, pretty big knife. There's another Medford Tanto, or Tonto, whatever you want to call it. The Slim Midi, also a DLT exclusive. And just for grins, there's my wife's Native 5, an S35E, and nice pink handle. In any case, I'm wrapping it up. That's going to do it. Check it out on DLT. Go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram at Chuck_Nunface. If you haven't done so already, I would appreciate if you click that little red subscribe button. It definitely helps me out. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Did you pick one up? What do you think of the 187 line overall? Let me know what you think, y'all. Thanks for checking it out.